Good morning, you guys. Well, in August of 2013, my grandfather unfortunately passed away. And a couple of months later, in November 2nd of 2013, November 2013, my mother decided to celebrate Dia de los Muertos. She wanted to go back to Mexico and celebrate it and honor my grandfather. I mean, I have heard about the holiday, but I figured it was just another random holiday like Halloween. So I just went along with it. But when I got there, I got to celebrate it and I realized that it does have a deeper meaning, and it was just a beautiful celebration and I absolutely fell in love with it. Today I will teach you about the meaning of Day of the Dead and how it really has no relation at all to Halloween. You should listen to me because you will get a deeper meaning and you will realize that it has no relation to Halloween. The first thing I'll be talking about is the origins of the Day of the Dead. The second thing I'll be talking about is how it is celebrated in Mexico and other Latin countries. And the third thing I will be talking about is how it is celebrated here in the US and the differences it may have. So the first thing I'll be talking about is the origins. It is around a 3,000-year-old tradition with roots in Aztec history. It is strictly Aztec with origins well before Christianity, unlike Halloween, whose origins are Christian and Celtic. The Aztecs had no doubt about a life in the afterworld, and decided to celebrate it in a month-long festival, giving nourishment and praise to those who had passed. They did not fear death whatsoever. They embraced it in a way. And they celebrate it. If you read the Aztec calendar, you can clearly see that it runs from late July to late August. But when the Spanish conquistadors came, they moved it to November 2nd after failing to obliterate it in the celebration in Mexico. So that's where also the confusion comes with Halloween, because they're so close together, October 31st, November 2nd. The second thing I'll be talking about is how it's celebrated in Mexico and other Latin countries. Each family creates an altar, also called an ofrenda, and what they do is they leave offerings to their loved ones. They can leave the favorite things that the deceased liked when they were alive. And so they also make decorations for it, and it may vary depending on the favorite things they enjoyed while they were alive. But usually what they all have is candles, incense, salt and water, and crosses. And they also put a cloth over the altar, and they put cut tissue paper over the cloth. So in the Day of the Dead, the sugar skulls, I don't know if you guys seen them before, is a very popular decoration for it. And you see people paint it on their face and add vibrant colors to it. The meaning behind the Day of the Dead was a very powerful symbol in both Spanish and Mexican Aztec cultures in the Middle Ages. In the Aztec culture, like every ancient culture, they believed the head was a very powerful symbol of human power and energy. And the Aztecs were recorded to have made human sacrifices to the gods in order to make sure the sun would rise each day. And the remains of those sacrificial victims were kept as relics, and the skulls were bleached, painted, and put on display. The third thing I will be talking about is how it is celebrated here in the US and the differences it may have. Here in the U.S., according to the Census Bureau, which is a decennial census mandated by Article 1, Section 2 of the United States Constitution, says that in 2014 and 2015, there's approximately 60 million Hispanics living in today's population, and that is to grow by 57% from 2015 to 2050. Why this random fact? Well, if you think about it, so many people here, they bring traditions with them and pass it down to their children from generation to generation, and it just keeps on spreading. In the last decade or so, this celebration has spread throughout the U.S. US-born Latinos have also adapted the holiday. But with the increased popularity of this holiday, this also may coincide with different views of the holiday. For example, it may coincide with, instead of more of a private mourning, it goes to more of a public, honoring their loved ones. And in conclusion, I hope this helped you guys get just a little bit of a better understanding of this holiday. The first thing I talked about was the origins of the Day of the Dead. The second thing I talked about is how it is celebrated in Mexico and other Latin countries. And the third thing I talked about is how it is celebrated here in the U.S. and the differences it may have had. Thank you.